All right. Mono green ramp. Put mana into play as quickly as possible with these 15 cards at the bottom. Oracle of Mul Daya's technically a ramp source as well, because you can play additional lands each turn. Nissa's a ramp card, payoff split card, and then we've got Ugin and Ulamog. So I'm pretty. I think this is the best ramp payoff in this format. I think it's better than Field of the Dead. I think this is the second best ramp payoff in this format. I do think Field of the Dead is probably the third best ramp payoff, but I think both of these are better than it on average. So we're basically just hoping to put a bunch of mana sources into play as quickly as possible with these 20-ish cards here at the bottom, and then play some biggity bombs out here and take over the game with them. So let's go ahead and pop on into some matches here with this and see if we can make some control players very sad about their lives. Some bomb diggities. Some ramp, some mana, some more ramp. Oracle of Mul Daya is technically card advantage too, because it plays lands off the top of our deck, which is lovely. That's Magic in a nutshell. Let's have fun by making people sad. I mean, fun is zero sum, right? So if your opponent's having none of the fun, you must be having all the fun. This is a Yorion, not a Lurrus. No, it can be hard to see. That's what all my years playing Modern have taught me. You know, it's funny. If you would have gone back in time and told 2016 Jeff that they were going to print a prison card I would hate more than Blood Moon, I'd have laughed at you and called you a liar, I think. Maybe it's scattered? Definitely Teferi. I don't think Narset's actually that big of a deal. Quench. I was quite thirsty. Just kind of blue-white control deck. Their missed land drop implies their Esper. Any chance 3-mana Vivian has a home now that Teferi is gone? I mean, to set a low bar, that card is less bad than it previous was, but it's still probably not particularly good against the variety of aggressive decks that seem to be good in this format. Hello, youngest son. What's up? Do you need something? You want to watch a show? You can watch a PBS show or a learning show. Declan got in trouble this morning, chat, so he's not allowed to watch anything other than educational television for the rest of the day. Which is just the stone cold worst. Is watching Magic educational. You know, it's funny. The shows he usually watches are mostly people playing video games. Both him and Joke, a majority of what they watch is people playing video games. I was going to take away TV altogether, but then I decided my life would be marginally easier if I let him at least watch educational TV. The Netflix Magic show hasn't come to fruition just yet, I don't believe. We're probably dead. We're not 100% dead, but we're dead enough that I'm bored. We would cast the crap out of that 7-mana 1/1 companion right now. You are not wrong. Does deck want green cycling lands? Maybe, I don't know, the coming into play tap's a pretty real cost. And this is the game where I keep the 2-lander in my 28-land deck and I miss my 3rd land drop on 3, right? Is how these ones go. You keep it every time and you miss every time. Holy crap. I don't know what to do with my hands, chat. I don't know what to do with my hands. Archons run. We were talking about the draw 2 archetype earlier. This is the best draw 2 payoff in the game. Makes a 2/2 cat every time you draw your 2nd card each turn. So I think I'm electing to play around Quench here, since we saw multiple Quenches out of them last game. I've got plenty of mana, so I'm just going to play a turn behind playing around Quench. Does format have Reliquary Jar? Yeah, I think so. That's not really a playable card, though. This was a viewer submission. I agree that there's a good chance that being in blue-green for Uro is probably ideal. Casting Oracle before I play my land for the turn. So that way if there's 2 lands on top of my deck, if this resolves, we can play it off. How far can we donate for Builder on Strawman? Not until the set's spoiled. Well, you can't donate for cards that aren't spoiled yet. While there's obviously some cards that are likely to be in the set, I don't want to take money for things and then have them not be there. I think I preferred the old Teferi voice lines to the new ones. Feel like they probably have Quench, he says before he gets Aether Gusted. Whew. My spell resolved, chat. Don't know what to do with my hands. I think I just want to try and make Quench not be a live card this game. We're going to try and just cast all of our spells with 2 extra mana. This lets us see the top card of our deck. Lets everybody see the top card of our deck. Lets us play lands off of it and play additional lands.
Keep up the pace.
Yeah, they know Shifty Boy is coming. Oh, I should have, probably should have killed that, huh? Yeah. Gave them an extra kitty cat. Oh, there's no way this Ugin resolves. Big agree. Probably playing Ceratops next turn, which also might not resolve even though it can't be countered. Field of Rune, letting us shuffle the top of our deck here, which is nice. Obviously, I don't care about this Glacial Fortress. I just want to get a potentially different card on top of my deck. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Who's got 2 thumbs is ready to get Settle the Wreckage? This guy right here. Do we decline? No, I want to be able to cast Ulamog if I draw it through a Quench.
Hold that thought.
You can decline, I believe. That player may search their library for basic lands. I believed this card was bugged on Magic Arena and made you shuffle at one point. Is it still bugged? You definitely should be able to decline. Which is extra confusing template because Field of Ruin, which was printed at a very similar time to Settle the Wreckage, doesn't let you decline. I think this still shuffles even if you click no. Don't quote me on that though. On Arena. On Arena, I think it still shuffles. No, it should not shuffle. If you choose no with Settle the Wreckage, by the rules of Magic the Gathering, your deck should not shuffle. Field of Ruin is templated in a way that's not optional to shuffle. It's really inconsistent templating. Would Beast Whisperer be a good inclusion in the sideboard for the control matchups? Why would it be a good inclusion? I'm gonna time you out, actually. I thought that's what that card did, but like, not only did you not follow the rules for a card recommendation, but like, that's a real head scratcher of a card recommendation. How many creatures are there in my deck? Like 8?
Hurry.
10, sure. Should we kill their field to stop their castle to stop their tokens? Yeah, probably. I don't understand what you're saying, correct, sir? Of course, RSW. Alright, now this will resolve and then we'll be okay. I'm pretty sure we had more spells countered than resolved in these two games. Ay, 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 ay. Do 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 do. For reference, I give new people more slack on making card recommendations, but people who have been here long enough to have mod swords don't get slack. They just get taken out back for 10 minutes. There's the card rec command kind of breaks down what I look for in card recommendations. This hand's great. Love it. The nice twin. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. Someone else mentioned Genesis Ultimatum Ramp. That sounds sweet. Like Team Elementals or something. How do you feel about Elishnorn in this format? I think Elishnorn would be a sweet add. I feel like Elishnorn skates a nice line between powerful but not overbearing as far as like a reanimation target could go. I think that would be a sweet piece of top end. chart of course. Speaking of reanimation, opponent may be playing a reanimator deck. For people saying our deck doesn't have card selection, that's a feature, it's not a bug. Like, this is how ramp decks work in Magic. And if you don't enjoy playing games of Magic where sometimes you just have the wrong mix of things and you die, you should play an archetype that's not a ramp deck. Sure, other games can be fun too, but I mean, like, there's plenty of non-ramp strategies that are competitive in Historic. There's a bunch of aggressive and tempo decks that are competitive right now. Newer players are spoiled by all of their ramp drawing a card. Back in my day, you paid 2 mana for Rampant Growth, and you liked it. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of card selection, this card actually provides a good amount of card selection off the top. It's just, we literally didn't resolve any meaningful spells in that last match. Like, our opponent actually just countered every meaningful play we made. None of the choices really mattered. We had a choice to play around Quench, and I played around it, and we still just died. Now, our opponent's playing Grixis, and there's an Ulamog on top of my deck, so they're probably dead. Reevaluate all your decisions to play Grixis right now. Look at this Ulamog. Look into his eyes! Yeah, that's what I thought. Get out of here. He knows what you did. Hey, Lilisette. Thank you for the tier 2 resub. I really appreciate that generosity. Welcome back. So one of the things we do in these control matchups, is you'll notice I bring in things like Ceratops and Scavenging Ooze in order to increase our threat density. Our threat density is still kind of low, but it's what we've got. Maybe I trim. I think I'd rather keep Explorer than Llanowar Elves. It's close though. Stop picking out Grixis. Listen, everybody who queues up with Grixis control deserves to get Ulamog. I don't make the rules, I'm just holding people to them. Yeah, I mean, probably Thorbrand, but like, we also like aren't printing Elishorn into this format. At least not that I've seen. So, like, we hedge our bets here against an interactive deck with our ramp deck, but even with hedging our bets, there's still going to be a lot of draws where we just do nothing and die. Now, that being said, I'm going to keep this hand because it's got a ton of action in it, and I'm a professional Magic the Gathering player. For everybody else at home, I would not recommend trying this, but I am going to snap this hand off. It's just Nelly! Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate the third of a year. Fractions. Welcome back. We only got Ulamog once earlier, but once was enough. really sad. I was really sad that She-Hulk Druid wasn't printed into this format. I think that would have been fun. This does not count things in exile, so Scooz can ham their graveyard a little bit here and make their Drake worse. This is, Mistim hosted us earlier when they signed off, and they were playing, and Enigma Drake Grixis deck earlier today. I think I take this opportunity to unlock my Nissas. It is kind of appealing to hammer their graveyard with Scooz, but I think I just do this. Actually, when you're a mod, only I can time you out, but I could definitely do that. Now, rather than playing Nissa out into their obvious counterspell, I'm going to take this opportunity to eat their graveyard with Scavenging Ooze. Delta! Thank you for the 15 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Baby Drake, do 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 do. Baby Drake, do 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 do. Baby Drake. So Castle Garenbrig here, not just usable for extra creature mana, also usable for extra creature activated ability mana. As we devour their bin. Getting a counter on Scavenging Ooze is also nice because it means it would get to dodge Heartless Act as a removal spell they likely play. Nice, Delta. Alright, I'm just here to drop bombs. Bomb diggities. So we just want to draw lands for the next couple turns. We can play Nissa into Ugin, into Ulamog. Another Ionize here is almost lethal, huh? Is it lethal? We go to 8. Ionize plus any other instant or sorcery kills us. Survey says... Correct, Thorben. But I was tapped out. I don't think seeing Drake makes me want to change anything. You already have, like, Ceratops in my deck to block it, and Scavenging Ooze to fight the graveyard. I didn't have 8 mana, Chewy. I had 7 mana. That means you're not using your social media block functions enough, 10-ton hammer. Anybody that thinks Field of the Dead is too good in this format as is was probably hurt by it in standard. And one of the most important things you need to understand when trying to engage with anybody, whether it be a Magic player with a bad opinion on a Magic the Gathering power level, or someone in a political discussion, is you can't logic someone out of a position they did not logic themselves into. Half the people I see have bad takes on Historic, thinks it's the same format as Pioneer. Yeah, that's part of it too. I mean, there's also part of the discussion too that, like, you know, it implies that the bans that happened in Pioneer were good, right? Like, the fact that Smuggler's Copter and Field of the Dead are currently banned in Pioneer is probably kind of silly. Although I guess they did finally ban a bunch of the combo decks, so maybe. Although I'm told Winota is very funny in that format too. And by funny, I mean busted, obviously. Oh, I should have activated Castle there to get an extra mana. Yeah, or the fact that Splinter Twin is banned in Modern, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people who they build a deck that loses to Field of the Dead, and they think that Field of the Dead is the problem, and rather than being reflective upon their deck building, it's easier to say, well, Field of the Dead got banned in other formats, so Field of the Dead needs to be banned here, when in, like, reality, their deck's probably not good, and it's if they ban Field of the Dead, their bad deck is going to lose to something else that's not Field of the Dead. But as long as Field of the Dead is there, Field of the Dead acts as a conduit to be a scapegoat for them to avoid self-reflection and improvement. Being self-reflective is hard. Crying that Field of the Dead is the reason why your bad deck is bad is easy. Ramp decks like what we're playing are incredibly low player agency. You're mostly just playing your stuff out and kind of hoping for the best. And so far, our stuff has not been good enough by and large today. We're experiencing a lot of problems. The problems that this deck is showing today really kind of exhibit why, traditionally speaking, Ramp is a fine archetype. Because this deck has elected not to splash into any of the good busted Ramp cards that have been printed in the last year, basically. We're not splashing blue, we're not splashing, there's no Uros in our deck, etc. This deck has, what we've experienced so far today, a lot of what I would refer to as traditional Ramp deck problems, which is something that cards like Uro have largely made not happen for Ramp decks that are built today. Yeah, like Rampant Growth and Cultivate, right? These very narrow focused Ramp cards. Unlucky. It's hoping for a land on top for Oracle there, obviously. Have ourselves a ramp off here, chat. Nailed it. Nailed it. Ugin on top, eh? Oh, this is funny. I wonder if we should have more Ugin the Ineffables in our deck. Because Ugin ramps into Ugin and Ulamog. I hadn't thought about that, but this making Ulamog cost 2, or cost 2 less, is actually kind of a big deal, huh? Maybe we'll retool this a little bit, up the threat density a touch, and like have double Ugins. That's good. Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. This card is also very good with Oracle, because it can clear a non-land off the top of our deck and give us more control in general over what we're exiling. How will we ever beat the immense card advantage from their Field of the Dead, chat? I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah, these are colorless. So these don't get exiled from this. Yeah, Oracle was super impressive here, for sure. This deck does actually have, you know, some card advantage in selection when, like, we get to play Magic. Yeah, like, how many cards is this thing drawn at this point? Just all of them? Are we in garbage time? Yes. I forgot to tap the elf. Whatever. Oh, I probably should have done -3, huh, to get rid of that. Should have fielded their dual lands to let them know that Field of the Dead means nothing to you. It's the big brain play. I mean, even if they have Ulamog at this point, I'm sufficiently wide, right? And like they can only get 2 of my 3 walkers. I feel like we executed this turn about as inefficient. I was definitely just taking game actions last turn. Oh no! How will I ever recover from the card advantage provided by Shatter the Sky? Oh no, chat, help me figure it out. Crap, not Uro. Oh no, not another Field of the Dead. Not more zombies! Oh no! Like I said, pretty confident Field of the Dead is the third best ramp payoff in this format. Right behind this card and this card. I think if we turned this game into Twitch chat plays Magic, we could probably manage to win from here. Oh no! Oh, what if they exile all my planeswalkers, chat? Oh no! Not an Ugin! Oh no! Alright, so he's at 9. So we play this. We 0 it. We plus Nissa. We kill you. Make another token. Draw another card. 27 cards left in my deck. 25 cards left in my deck. Oh, I could field their field. Yeah, sure. It's just like so irrelevant. I didn't think about it. Oh no, not a hydrate crisis. Oh, not more card advantage. I've turned my brain to ramp mode. I mean off. Am I the baddie? No, they're playing Field of the Dead, chat. They're the problem. They have 24 cards left in their deck. This is exactly the kind of lunchtime entertainment we need in the world. God bless. Definitely Ulamog them next turn. Oh, I planned to. This is their fourth Field of the Dead, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So land.
This will aid us.
No, come back! I wasn't done taking game actions yet, opponent. It's just rude. I wasn't done playing the game. Yeah, that was the point of no return. The Ulamog put it over the top. Do I sideboard? What if we swap Arboreal Grazer for Thrashing Brontodon so I can kill Golos in? Nah, I don't think we really care about. I don't think we want Cage. Yeah, I think I want more of this card. This card sounds great. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Cultivate, just like we drew it up. Funny that a ramp works well when our opponent has 0 interaction. Yeah, probably Wargame. You spent a veto countering my land. Deal. Resolves. Ramp it up. Ramp it up. Do, pew. Tapped land. Yes. Truth lies beyond vision. So anyways, they started blasting. Let's start ticking this up to threaten the ult here. My flames burn beyond perception. A true shame if our manifest card were to die. You're not wrong. Ah! Oh, crap! I misclicked. Sorry, chat. I apologize. I'll be more careful in the future. Full speed ahead, next stop, garbage time. Do 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 do. Opponent, I wasn't done drawing cards and playing stuff yet. That's rude. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Ja, zoom, zoom, zoom. Ja, zoom, zoom, zoom. I want more of this. I want more of the colorless stuff. How do I fit those 3 cards in? Can I just cut Grazer? I like that Karn draws cards. Can I just, like, cut Grazer and accept that we're gonna die to aggro? Is Nissa a worse payoff than these? Nah, she's pretty good. I like having 2 things that pump out creatures. The aggro plan is beyond the play game 1. Love it. The tried and true sideboard Arboreal Grazer. Let's do it. There's been a lot of greed on the ladder. I'm gonna try and get lucky against aggro. Now we died a bird, and we'll die in a blaze of glory. Is Vivian Reed worth in the sideboard? So Vivian Reed, most of our payoffs are planeswalkers, not creatures. You try Green Leyline. Well, we're not playing a lot of mana producing creatures, so I think Green Leyline is pretty bad. A Leyline ramp deck looks fairly different than what this is doing. Man, where are the lands on top of my deck, chat? Greed on the ladder should be an MTG 2020 movie slogan. Yeah, probably. Is there no efficient way of crafting cards? So you have to craft them one at a time, if that's what you're asking. You can't just craft an entire deck. It's one of their things that definitely needs work. You gain 5 life. Friendo, I don't know if you realize what this game is about. Oh, you think you're about to get Fall of the Thrand? That's an interesting thought. Oh, could I have Nissa plus Ugin this turn? I could have Nissa and Ugin. Yeah, that's a huge mistake. If we get Falled, we're going to be real sad. There's not a craft all button because Runeterra has like 3 different currencies to craft from. There's not. Yeah, I fucked up. Alright, they deserve it. If I put Ugin into play there last turn, we end up in a very good spot, right? But I didn't, so we died. So I was so focused on playing lands off the top with Oracle, and then we got boned on that. That I could have gone Nissa into Ugin down tick, kill their scriptures, which would have left all my creatures in play. And if we leave... Oh, I should have boarded in my Thrashing Brontodons. I don't even want to play the match. Fuck them. Their anti-ramp deck can go play against someone else. Yeah, if I would have gone Nissa off of my elf, I could have untapped a land, played Ugin killed the scriptures, and then my board doesn't die, and then the 4-drop lets me recover from what they had going on. And there's like left with a bunch of cards that don't do anything. Okie-doke. Gyruda? Probably a combo deck. This is pretty slow at 9 mana, though. I mean, like, there was one decision that mattered, and I made the wrong one after being tilted by resource variance, so... Man, we are really, really not good at hitting with Oracle, huh? Do I want another Oracle? Probably not. So we'll go Nissa, untap a land, attack you for 5. I still have another land drop for the turn, so we'll cultivate, and then if there's another land on top of our deck, we can play it. Otherwise, we can play this one out of our hand before we Ulamog them next turn. How much were the Invisalign trays? $5,000. And we have very good insurance, which means our dental insurance covered 1,200 of it. Grafdigger's Cage does stop Gyruda, so let's do that. Karn's card advantage, probably not super relevant here. Maybe Trim and Ugin. Got my first trays put in this afternoon. 21 more to go. It's been my experience so far. Very reasonable. Some of the trays have been more painful than others, but my teeth even now, I'm at, my total treatment I think is 29 trays because I had one tooth that was really screwed up. I'm currently on 21 or 22, I think, and there's been a noted marked difference between what my teeth looked like and where they are now. Your braces after insurance are 4.5 thousand, originally 7K. Yeah, I mean, like, the Invisalign was comparable to traditional braces when we price shopped. You saw some cases online where people were losing teeth with those trays. With specifically Invisalign or one of the other similar products. So, Invisalign, when you do it, is under the care of a dentist that kind of tracks your progress to make sure things are going okay. There's other similar systems that you can do on your own, like via the mail, that I read mixed things about. So we've got 6 mana total here. This is 7, 8, 9. Oracle hopefully finds us something. We can Oracle plus Cultivate next turn. Because the dentist's office weren't open, they just gave the customers the trays. Well, my dentist gave me the trays, but we've been doing virtual appointments. I've been, like, sending in pictures of my teeth so they can see how they're tracking, both with the trays on and off, to make sure they look okay. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so. Yeah, one of my teeth was also bad enough that, like, sometimes they tell people to move to only wearing trays for a week at a time. Like, all 29 of my trays are 2-week trays. So I've had them in for a while, and we'll continue to have them in for a little bit. Alright, well. Howdy, Airbus. Do I gamble for a land on top here? I kind of feel like I'm supposed to. I could field them. With how our Oracle luck is going today, I probably should just play Ugin. Nailed it. Oh, I gave them the second mana to negate. That's funny. Whoopsie poopsie. Well. Huh? I think with that big drop that they have, I want an extra Ugin. I'm going to cut an Explore here, I think. I'm going to cut a Cage. They're not really a Gyruda deck. They just have Gyruda for value. Wizards opened up people's ability to host cash tournaments on Arena for up to $25 entry fees, and one of the requirements was that gambling was not allowed during these tournaments. And it was just like, oh Wizards, you and your legal speak for your game. There's no gambling allowed at the Magic tournament. Oh, you. What's up, bud? Can you go in the train room? Is Jacob in there? You should leave Jacob alone. I love you, bud. You're not allowed to watch the shows Jacob's watching. You were bad today. You can watch them tomorrow and try again. I love you. You like that sneaky chat? He didn't ask me if he could watch TV. He asked me if he could go in the train room where he knows Jacob is watching TV. Kid's gonna be a good lawyer someday. You know what's gonna be sweet, chat? When we Stone Rain my opponent stuck on 3 lands. Sorry, double Stone Rain. Apologies. Was it good for you? It was good for me. I swear I won't watch TV, I just want to be in that room. No gambling, you say? No, Hangman, those decks just aren't good. Afternoon, Pelly. This hand's the nuts, chat. Turn 3 Nissa, let's go. Let's do it, and do it, and do it, and do it again. Man, if they don't interact with us, we're turn 3 Nissa, turn 4 Ulamog. If this is a ramp mirror, we've got the nuts. They got mostly there, Dig. I even get to explore this turn? What? Excuse me? Don't mind me. Just playing some Magic. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm 1 mana short. If I had one more mana, I could Ugin into Ulamog, but that's 14 total, right? No! Come back! No! Oh, opponent! Oh, no! Please stop! Come back! Colpot, thanks for the 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Should I have any concerns before I do? Yeah, this deck's probably not good. Knock yourself out. I would be surprised if what this deck is doing is better than having a splash for Uro. I think our aggro matchup's probably not great without something that gains life. I mean, I don't know that you necessarily need Growth Spiral. Hey, appreciate that, Colpuck. And Oramvox, thanks for the 15 months. Our hand is not nearly as good as last time, chat. It's very sad. Treasure Hunt's really sweet. It's one of the meme decks on my website for Historic. One's in the deck queue. Looking forward to getting that one. Yeah, 2 lands in a row on top, please. All right, hit 1. God bless America. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I think I want to Cultivate here. So I think Cultivate gives me the highest probability of casting Ugin next turn. I can field and Cultivate though, right? Yeah. Alright, it took 2 shuffles, but we got there on Oracle, so that's nice. That would be really sweet, Beansy. Big agree, that would be really sweet. Main, oh, this is post-board. I was saying main deck Aether Gust is a little ambitious post-ban, but this is post-board. I'm hoping that asterisk Beansy means that they're gonna take the opportunity to like put some different dual lands into the format. Like I would love it if they're like, oh, by the way, here's Amonkhet and 10 fast lands. I think that would be insane. Probably a mistake here, playing Growth Spiral before they put Field of Dead in play. They played their land for the turn before Golos. Oh, they did, didn't they? That's great. You're right, I totally missed that they did that.
Until you have made regret that choice.
Monthly PSA, do your part and keep us all safe, chat. Stay at home and watch, Jeff. Thanks for the 17 months, 6 feet apart. I should Field of the Dead, Field of Ruin, their Field of the Dead, right? Just get the last one out of there, as much as I wouldn't mind another Ugin. Yeah, the dual lands that are in Amonkhet are control deck dual lands. I'd prefer some aggro deck dual lands. I also think the Amonkhet duels are mostly worse than the Triomes. Opponents had some bad Golos triggers. I mean, to be fair, their deck has a lot of blanks in it. Oh, are the Psycho lands different, the 2-color pairs not ones we have on wedges? No, we have, like, just Sky. I guess, like, for a strictly blue-black deck, the blue-black Psycho land is better than... It's better than, like, the Sultai one. Attack with all of these before I activate Ugin. So if they block, I can kill their thing here. Correct, Wargy. Okay. What do you think of bounce lands from the original Ravnica block? They could make cards like Azusa potentially playable. They're good with Oracle. Oh, should I have cranked this to 5? I guess that kills Nissa. Let me just kill this. Hey, Chayate, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
My plans do not include you.
Kinda, Steric. They're card advantage that always draws lands. So like while you're correct that like they're strictly card advantage, they're card advantage in the technically correct type of sense, like they're also like pretty sure I have lethal. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't chat, I'm playing ramp. I wasn't counting. I definitely think our ramp deck has an advantage over these Field of the Dead ramp decks. Because I think Ugin and Ulamog are like the actual best cards in these ramp matchups. So I get to stuff their little adorable Field of the Dead in a box, throw it away. Field of the Dead is rooting historic, something like that. Is this the same person we played against, or this guy Ruda Teamer deck do something somewhere? Because we played against this twice now. Is anybody paying attention? Is the same person? Same name? Dead game. So what's our best draw here? Like Oracle of Mul Daya? Ramp it up. Do 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 boop boop boo do do do.
Patience.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The land will not forsake you.
supposed to save that for a Field of the Dead? It costs 6, right? Alright, hold on, folks. I'm gonna do it again. Please hold. They have 9 mana. They get to Gyruda here. Let's see what they gigging into. If they hit another Openwald Hydra, we're probably dead. They can hit an Ulamog off of our deck too. Oh, they hit an Ulamog off their deck. Alright, so we need an Ulamog off the top. You have three Ulamogs to draw to. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on the sweater already, but you keep on forgetting what you ramped down. The whole crowd roars so loud you open your mouths, but the words won't come out. I'm gonna cut the Karns for 2 cages, what we did last time. Sounds good. The card also they're like also attacking for 20, chat. You're right that there are more than 20 cards in my deck, but that card hits for damage too. Yeah, Monster Man, can you just send me, Scion, great. Can you send me an email from the email of me approving and saying, hey, this was the deck I sent in and I'd like to change it to X? Thank you, oldest son. You did give them to me. Thank you. You're a good helper. It's just Guy Control tomorrow. I have no idea. We'll be doing 2 decks tomorrow, whichever 2 are at the top of the queue. Man, we are just, like, completely unable to hit a land with this card the turn we play it. Now they're gonna, like, Magma Quake us and make us cry. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. 28 land deck, never a land. You know. Oh, if I didn't approve it and you didn't send me money yet, just don't worry about it, Monster Man. And yeah, if you want to submit something else, feel free to submit a form for something else. I forgot Solemn was legal. I don't think I want to play that in here, but it's cute to think about. So we've got 5, 6, 7 here. So if they don't kill Ugin and we draw 1 more land, we get to Ulamog them next turn. Yeah. And, like, honestly, talk like that, like, people talking about things like Gyruda they think should be banned, really does a huge disservice when there's cards like Reclamation and Time Raveler around, right? Like, I can't fathom being a WotC person and, like, the signal to noise ratio that you get at all parts at different times, everybody thinking everything needs to be banned constantly. Ulamog is a fantastic example of cards being interactive does not mean they're interesting. Because people often, like, say stuff like fun and interactive in situations like that, but, like, Ulamog's, like, the definition of interactive, right? Like, it's annoying and obnoxious because it interacts with the opponent in a way. It's like when people get frustrated with, like, mono blue tempo, right? Countering all their spells. It's like, well, mono blue interacted you to death. You weren't happy about it, but they definitely interacted with you. That was not the Llanowar Elf I wanted for Christmas. Staring Bridge is Ensnaring Bridge is interactive because it's interacting with the creatures on the board, right? It's not fun or interesting most of the time, but it's assuredly interactive. Interactive means my card's impacting theirs, right? And that's something we've talked about before too. I think a lot of time player complaints when they talk about things not being interactive, what they're actually trying to communicate is the concept that we've talked about a lot of player agency, which means, like, how often your decisions in the game impact the outcome of those games, right? Like, just because something is interactive doesn't mean it provides both players with player agency. Like, getting every spell you cast in a game countered means you didn't have much player agency in that game, but that game was assuredly interactive. This person showed us negate. So I think rather than play Nissa into a negate, I'm going to Oracle of Mul Daya this turn. We're going to Aether Gust it and it doesn't matter. Now we have to... Oh, you know what? I should have bottomed that because they're going to Gyruda and this gives them a guaranteed Gyruda hit. They would have had one anyways. They took yours to send a message, yep. Loud and clear. Over and out. Am I getting draw step Aether Gusted here? It's the only thing that makes sense, right? I think I'm doing this because it guarantees I get to Ugin next turn. They obviously get to attack my Nissa down. Maybe I'm not supposed to play Nissa and I'm just supposed to cultivate there. I already animated a land, Billy boy.
An opportunity to act rashly.
Okay, so the question is, what's this card, right?
All creation can be undone.
They're one land short of their own Ulamog. We're 2 land short. How do you invite to the Discord server? You don't get invited. You just join yourself. Details here. Oh, we're 3 land short because our land's dying, right? Yeah, I think maybe playing my Nissa out was wrong. Was this a good draw? I think this draw was good.
Accept a lesser world, and I will destroy.
This is the card reveal bug, right? One of these isn't actually Magma Quake. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure one of these isn't actually Magma Quake. Because Magic Arena. Hoping their unknown card isn't Ulamog. Because we would like to Ulamog first. Yeah, so for people that are unaware, there's a bug that's been around for 2 patches now where one of the cards, yep, is like that. That happens. All right, if we draw Castle Garenbrig, we can Ulamog their Ulamog.
I leave you to your doom.
Oh, was field untapped? I wasn't thinking. Good thing I'm lucky. Yeah, if field was untapped and I had mana, it probably was. I was just tilted that they had Ulamog and wasn't thinking about it. It is going to matter. It's going to matter. It's going to matter a lot, in fact. Yeah, I was like talking about the client being bugged because it's Magic Arena and clicking at the same time, trying to explain why Arena was being crappy. I deserve that. I'd have cast this a turn sooner and gotten exile triggers with this, and we would have decked them out. So if I would have activated, and to be fair, that was only an option because my opponent punted. Like, my opponent shouldn't have targeted our Field of Ruin, but then I also was talking and distracted, so we lost. I think this deck's kind of okay. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to take a deck like this again to play. I think I would try a blue-green ramp deck with some cards like Uro, but I kind of find these decks kind of deeply unsatisfying to play. And part of the reason why we got sloppy there is I was kind of checked out at the end. Like, a lot of it's just like, here's my stuff. Did it race your stuff? And the games just kind of play past each other in a lot of the way, in a way that's, not particularly satisfying to play a lot of the time, which is rough. What build I use for... I have no idea. I haven't looked and haven't thought about it. Probably something with these cards and other blue ramp cards. I don't know. If you look back on my YouTube, we played a blue-green or Bant version at one point. Do I have a favorite deck from the last few days? You can always check my favorites up on my website here. Past Jeff is always more in tune with what's going on than present Jeff. Present Jeff has played a number of decks. All right, what are we doing? I'm going to shift gears now. So